Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask an Author. Today we have debut author Helen Williams with us. Welcome, Helen.
Hi.
So lovely to have you. I'm really interested in finding out the process of you becoming an author for the first time because I know for me it was a very long journey with lots of mistakes in it. So, how did this idea start that you wanted to be an author?
Okay, well, I started a YouTube channel, doing singing nursery rhymes, reading some books, and I got through a few, and I thought to myself, I feel like I want to make up a little song. And so I started getting the musical instruments, and I ended up picking up a couple of maracas, and I just out of nowhere made this silly song up, and I don't know, somewhere out of there sprung this little idea of a book about the magical maracas and some children finding them. So I'm like, okay, don't know where this came from, and I wrote it in one night and just blurted it all out on the keyboard, and yeah, and I started showing it around, and people were like, oh, that's actually really cool. I'm like, yeah, I kind of think it's got a nice message, and yeah, and then it started from there, and then it's taken a little while to get to here.
That's okay. The best things take time, like wine.
Yes.
It
Yes.
has to age. I'm really interested in this because, um, I mean, I love maracas, like, because it's
Who
something that
doesn't?
everyone can play. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I love
Exactly.
that. I love that concept. So, how did you go, when you started to think, you know what, I actually want to publish this? What was the thought process behind that, and how was it received?
Well, I spoke to my partner about it, and he said, "Well, talk to my dad because my dad's published a couple of books. I'm pretty sure you know my dad. He's in one of your books." And yeah, so I spoke to him about it, and he said, "All right, send it to me, and I'll have a bit of a read." And we sort of, helped me edit it a little bit and things like that. And then we sent it off to a few publishers that had open submissions, and I got some really good feedback in the first week, and I was really excited. It was via a London publisher, but they only do hybrid publishing, and so it was going to cost me around $4,000. And I went, whoa. And I was still on maternity leave at this stage, so I was just at the end of it. So didn't have $4,000 sitting there to spend on publishing. But I was like, okay, that's all right. I'll just keep sending it out, and I sent it to about maybe I want to say about 7 or 8 publishers at least, and got great feedback. Like they loved the story. Or like I think half of them did. Most of them just came back with, "No, we're not taking anything at the moment," and things like that, which is fine.
Did you try traditional publishing first?
Yes, I did. I
Yeah.
did
Okay.
only because of the cost,
Yeah, same. Exactly the
basically.
same. I'm exactly
Exactly.
the same.
Yes.
So when you weren't getting, I guess the yeses that you wanted,
Mhm.
how did that change how you were approaching your publishing journey?
Um, well, at first I was like, oh, I don't really know what to do now. What, like, how do I do this? So I spoke to my dad, and he published his first children's book with, is it Libraries for All? I think it is.
Yes.
So I contacted them. I thought, okay, it's not like it's about the money. I just more wanted to get the word out there and let's see how it goes. And I never heard back from them. So, you know, unless I sent the email to the wrong place, I don't know. I never got a confirmation, so I'm not sure what happened there. And then I think I put a few things on Facebook to my friends, and a couple of people asked me to friend some of their author friends and to have a chat with them and see how their process was. And then, yeah, I ended up chatting to a lady who's actually got a lot of stories published. I didn't realize how many she'd had. And she got me on the route to self publishing. So then I found Ingram Spark.
Yes, it's exciting because I think there's a lot of people who are really resonating with what you're saying right now because we have these ideas and we know that if the book gets into the right hands, kids are going to love it. And there's so many gatekeepers when it comes to traditional publishing, you
Yeah.
do get to a crossroads after a certain point where you're like, okay, I'm not getting contracts traditional publishing, but I still believe in my story and I still think that it's
Yes.
worthy for getting it out there. So
Yeah,
there's a
that's
lot
the
of
biggest
people,
part.
yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of people watching who are going to be like seeing you go through this journey and really being able to resonate with that. So for you, what is it about this story that made you passionate that this had to be a thing?
Well, the biggest thing was it was teaching children how to share. And I guess my daughter's an only child at this stage. And we were really concerned of her being an only child and her sharing. So it must have been in the back of my mind somewhere. And yeah, it's also about friendship.
You have your book there that you can show us?
I do. I happen to have a copy. This is it. This is my first copy I got in my hands, and I'm not
Oh,
gonna lie, I did cry a little bit. I got a bit excited. I happy
it's
cried,
beautiful. So
and
tell us a little bit about the process of finding an illustrator. How all that
oh
worked?
well, I have a lovely illustrator. She's one of my best friends from high school, Rebecca, and yeah, we sort of collaborated on it a little bit, and I sort of said, you know, I needed some samples at that stage, you know, to send off to the publishers, you know, and so she sent me some drawings, and she does a lot of watercolor, and I was always thinking watercolor is what was needed for the book, and I don't know, she just got it in her head, got her passionate brain going, and everything, and it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Do you have a favorite page?
I do actually. It's one of the cute ones with the girls in it. Just this one here. It's so sweet. It's just lovely. Let up a bit higher.
Oh, that is gorgeous. I'm going to shut up now so that I can see you. Hang on. Put it up for me again. Put it up again so I can
Yep.
see it again because I was like just fangirling there for a second. What a gorgeous illustrator.
That close enough?
Oh,
It's
how
it's just
special.
beautiful. She's just done an
Oh,
amazing job of it. I could not be happier. Really couldn't be happier.
that's
And she's kept it
amazing.
so simple, but just you know, just adding little bits of animals here and there, and just it just gives it that extra depth and just keeps it simple but so beautiful. Everyone who's seen it so far has just said, "Wow!" And I'm like, I know. She's yeah, she's incredible. Really, really beautiful drawings. I've actually got some of her. Um, she's done some paintings over the years, and I've got them up in my house because I love them.
Aren't we lucky that we have very clever friends?
I know. I'm probably the biggest fan, I think.
Oh, I love that. So tell me a little bit more about the story.
Okay. It's just about two little girls who find some magical, colourful balls, and they need to learn how to share them. And that's when they all hear the wonderful sound of the magical maracas. It's a
Oh,
very simple story.
I love it.
There's
And
not much to it, but I thought sometimes keeping it simple is the nicest way, really.
absolutely. And kids are going to love that. And how cool is it that, like we were saying, that maracas is something that everybody can play. So
Exactly.
it's super accessible and it's got a beautiful message. That's so wonderful.
And
So,
my songs in it as well that I made up. I actually incorporated my song in the book.
so have you done something on YouTube?
I
So
have, yes. I do have a song
yeah,
about the maracas, yes. And I
stop
it's
it.
in the book.
Oh, well, what I'll do is I will put a link to that in the comments. So
Yeah, sure.
when I post it, I'm going to put a link to your YouTube so you can go and have a look more about it. So if anybody wanted to get a copy of the book, what's the best way, do you
Well,
think?
at this stage, I'm waiting on the e-commerce link, and that's when it'll be out in bookstores and people can order it. I believe on Booktopia and things like that.
Mhm.
At the moment, I've just had people order through me, and I've had 26 orders so far. So I'm pretty excited.
Congratulations.
So
Oh,
they're in the middle of printing this week, so they'll be here next week, and I'll start distributing those out. So very exciting to get it out.
amazing. You should be just so super proud of yourself. This is amazing.
Thank
I
you.
love when I see people who have an idea and they don't get the traditional publishing pathway, but they're like, you know what, this is a good idea. I'm going to stick with it. Like, there's so many
Yeah.
people watching who are going to get inspiration from you. What would you say to those people who are watching who maybe were in the same situation that you were in?
Oh, definitely don't give up. Don't give up. I emailed, I Googled, I looked at everything I possibly could, asked everybody that I knew and said, how do I do this? I need some help, please. Like ask for help, which is something I'm not good at. But you need to ask and you need to network. Networking's been the best thing to do as well.
And the community
Definitely.
of kidlit authors, I think, are super friendly and helpful. Like, I don't think there's anyone that I can think of who is going to say, oh no, I'm not going to help you. Like, when we all do something awesome, it lifts us all up. So I would definitely echo the sentiment that if anyone who's watching who has an idea like Helen and is really struggling to get down the traditional publishing pathway, don't give up. Keep knocking on doors, keep learning everything you can learn, talk to people. And yeah, and lucky Helen, you've got an awesome dad who also helped
Oh, I
you. Yeah.
know.
What does he
And
think
of
now that
course, my
you're a
husband.
published author?
He thinks it's pretty cool. I think he's a little bit proud.
I'd say he was a lot
I
proud. I think that's pretty awesome.
would hope so.
And I can't wait for this book to come out and to get a copy in my own hot little hands. But what I'll do is I will put a link in the comments so that anyone who's watching will be able to go to your YouTube channel and yeah, keep an eye out for it. And then what's next? Are you going to do some more books?
Yes, I'm actually in the midst of writing one not children related about my IVF journey. But I do actually have some other ideas for some more children's books. So I'm hoping probably the next couple of months to start writing on those ones and get those ones in the mix. But I've got lots of little things tinkering in here about it.
So cool. Well, maybe we might be having another chat very soon about your next book.
He's hoping.
Well, thank you so much. I really think that you are going to be an inspiration to a lot of people watching. And
Thank you.
please get in contact with Helen. If you have any questions, I'll put the link to her YouTube channel. And thank you for joining us on another episode of Ask an Author.